Hey guys, welcome to Amity Tracks. We have lost another great. We just lost Dickey Betts, one of the co-founders, songwriters, guitarist, singer for the Almond Brothers band. Really, truly one of the greats. Just, I don't know, I wanted to say something or a few things about Dickey Betts. You know, I, I think the word underrated is what comes to mind the most with Dickey Betts. I mean, underrated. This guy had been like the only guitar player in almost any other band. I mean, his name would be mentioned, I think, a lot more. But you know, I I mean, part of it maybe is the name of the band, right? The Almond Brothers band. So I mean, maybe casual listeners sort of assumed, well, it's you know Dwayne Allman and Greg Allman and just some other guys that they kind of hire in the background or whatever. And obviously, that's not the case at all. All the members of this band contributed greatly. I None more than Dickey Betts. I mean, Dickey Betts was key to this band for the vast majority of its existence. So like I said, maybe it's the name, the name of the band where he kind of gets overshadowed. I mean, overshadowed as a guitar player, in some ways. I mean, he's beautifully like lyrical guitar player, very melodic, and man, he could jam with the best of them, bringing in jazz elements and country elements and blues elements, just in this amazing Almond Brothers stew. But I mean, when you're in a band with Dwayne Allman, who's also on guitar, I mean, you might be overshadowed. But the thing is, you listen to those records, both live and studio, I think it says a lot, at least to me, to where there are many times where I'm not sure whether it's Dwayne or Dickey Betts playing, and that says it all right there. If you're able to go toe to toe with Dwayne Allman, right? I mean those first two albums, I have them on this beginnings, this double album set, where the first two records, Almond Brothers Band and Idle Wild South, are sort of combined in this two record set here. But yeah, I mean, you look, Greg Allman's the main songwriter on that first record, but by the second record, you have Dickey Betts contributing some major songs, Revival, then of course the classic In Memory of Elizabeth Reed, which is beautiful extended instrumental jam. Again, so lyrical, on those records. And when you're playing on what many people consider to be the one of, if not the greatest live album of all time, with these massive jams. And again, toe to toe with Dwayne Allman on this thing. Live at the Fillmore East. Dwayne Allman dies, right? Dwayne Allman dies, and you would think the band would fold, but they push forward and release. In my view, what might be their best album. I did an Almond Brothers ranking a long time ago, but Eat a Peach, right? Eat a Peach, and which is it's an amazing kind of mixture of some live material, with Dwayne Allman from the Fillmore East shows that didn't appear on the original version. Um, some of the studio work that they were working on with Dwayne and the band. But even on that studio work, I mean, with Dwayne, Dickey Betts has taken a real lead. I mean, Blue Sky is on here, right? And then some new songs post Dwayne, where Dickey is the only guitar player. And I mean, this is a triumphant, inspiring, release. Then Barry Oakley dies, right? The bass player, kind of hauntingly in the similar circumstances as Dwayne about a year later. They carry on with brothers and sisters. Again, Dickey is the only guitar player here, I believe. I think they have a couple people coming in on some of the songs as a second guitar player, but it's mainly Dickey Betts. Ramblin' Man is on here, which I believe is the Almond Brothers' biggest hit. Dickey Betts' song. He sings it. He wrote it. And that's another thing. His singing is getting more confident as they go. I talked about being overshadowed by Dwayne Allman as a guitar player. Well, I think Dickey could be appreciated as a great singer too, but you happen to be in a band with Greg Allman, right? One of the great vocalists. But again, I love Dickey's singing. It's got this kind of country twang, and that's another thing. As Dickey is starting to contribute more and more to the Allman Brothers, it's not just through the blues rock and some of the jazzy stuff. It's he's bringing in a lot of these country elements, and I think those country elements really come in through Dickey Betts. And just again, the beautiful playing has that sort of country feel as well. Yeah, and as a songwriter, he's really starting to take the lead. I think Greg's writing fewer songs and Dickey's writing more. And as to be honest, especially around Brothers and Sisters period, I think that's when Greg is still reeling from Dwayne's death, and then of course Barry Oakley's death, and I think it's kind of when Greg really descends a bit into his substance abuse period, either that or hanging out with Cher, whichever's worse. And Dickey Betts takes the reins. Dickey Betts is the leader of the Allman Brothers band, from I think the mid '70s on. These records here, of course, right? Yeah, then they take that hiatus, and he, with Great Southern, he goes off and does his own stuff with his group Great Southern or the Dickey Betts band. Now, I don't have any of that stuff. I'd like to get some of it. I do have some of those tracks, because I do have that awesome Allman Brothers box set Dreams, which, in addition to Allman Brothers stuff, has a lot of their side projects and solo stuff. So there is a bit of Dickey Betts, Great Southern, and Dickey Betts band, and just Dickey Betts solo stuff on here, which I really dig. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to get more of that stuff too. And then when the Allman Brothers reconvene in the '90s and have that unlikely but amazing resurgence with this kind of trio of albums here, right? Seven Turns and Shades of Two Worlds, and then Where It All Begins. I'd love to get these on vinyl. I saw this the other day. Anyway, these, again, Dickey Betts is in the lead there. They've got some different lineups there. Greg is back, of course, but Dickey Betts still sort of takes the lead, in making decisions and a lot of the songwriting and some of the singing, and I mean it's pretty awesome stuff. So yeah, I only saw the Allman Brothers once. I saw them in the '90s, but it was it was kind of funny. I was excited to go see the Allman Brothers, but Dickey wasn't there. They had some kind of substitute dude in there, in Dickey's spot. And Warren Haynes, Warren Haynes was kind of, in the '90s, Warren Haynes came in as the sort of the second guitar player foil with Dickey. So Warren Haynes was at the show, and then they had some other dude standing in for Dickey because Dickey was in jail for something. I don't remember. Dickey lived the life, lived the life, definitely, if you read personal stories of his. But regardless of that, just one of the greats. I mean, obviously, we're losing a lot of them now at a great rate. But I mean, Dickey Betts, one of the great guitar players, great singers, great innovators. I mean, the Allman Brothers band transcended that Southern rock tag that they have, or blues rock. I mean, like I said, elements of jazz and country and Americana, all of it, and a lot of that had to do with Dickey Betts. So rest in peace, Dickey Betts, and yes, there's only one left, right? One left out of that original five. Jimo, the only guy left. So anyway, we'll see you next time on Amity Tracks. Please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, like the videos, share the videos, and we'll see you next time.